Hi everyone. In this video I want to give you some advice on the multiple choice gap filling exercise, which is the first exercise on the reading and use of English papers either at B2 or C1 level. Now this is really a mixture of what you know and making an educated guess if you're not sure of the answer. It's not an easy exercise because of that. But anyway, I'll just go through and point out a few things that you should be looking out for. Now, the first one is an example, the one that's 0, and they give you the answer. So I'll put that one in. That's the space age began well over half a century ago. Well over is an expression that we use with time. And it's the only one that's possible. There's only ever one that is grammatically possible of the answers. So that's the first one. And then it continues, and ever since then, the area just beyond the Earth's atmosphere has been filling up with all kinds of man-made objects that have become, and the answer is known as space junk. So those two there, the first one, beyond, is you may not know the meaning of that, but it's further than a fixed point. So if you have say the road is beyond that fence or beyond the next village, and this is beyond the Earth's atmosphere. And then we have the expression have become known as, and those are just two words that go together in that expression, and none of, as I say, none of the others are possible. So the next one, number 3, the items up there. And the answer is D, range. Now, the reason it's range is that you've got, if we read the next part of the sentence, it says range from old satellites and parts of rockets to hundreds of thousands of pieces smaller than 1 centimetre. So you've got this, you've got from there, and then you've got to there, and range is typically used to talk about two different extremes. So prices that range from £30 to £60, for example, or accommodation that ranges from basic to luxury, something like that. So that's range. Again, it's a common word, but used in that context. So range from old satellites and parts of rockets to hundreds of thousands of pieces smaller than 1 centimetre, all of them travelling at extremely, and the answer is high speed. And again, it's the only one that fits. Notice that they've put C there, light, because you can talk about the speed of light, but it wouldn't make sense in this context. So yeah, which one goes best with speed, basically, is the question you need to ask yourself there. And then it continues, over the last 5 years, the number of such objects in space is, and the answer is estimated to have risen by 50%. Estimated meaning, well, it's an educated guess, basically. But again, it's the only one that fits there. And this has greatly, the answer to the next one, this has greatly increased the risk of damage to working satellites or space vehicles with crews on board. So again, it's the which of those adverbs goes with the word increased? And the answer is greatly, because we're talking about the amount. And then on to the next paragraph. International agreement has therefore now been, and the answer is B, reached. And that is because we reach an agreement. So you have to refer back to that word agreement there for your clue as to which word is going to be correct. And then the last gap, scientists have also, and the answer is, come up with some interesting suggestions for tidying up space. And again, you need to know or be able to guess that of those 4 phrasal verbs, come up with is the correct one, which means you can come up with an idea or a suggestion. Basically, to think of something, that's come up with. So that's how you approach that that kind of exercise. You've got to read the sentences around the gap to look for possible clues, but quite often there aren't any clues. It's really just about words that go together. So in that way, you've got to put each option in the gap and say it to yourself, and just from what you know about English, which one sounds like it would be the best option. Sometimes you get it right. Unfortunately, sometimes you get it wrong. That's just a native speaker has that much more vocabulary to inform their decision, whereas you will have holes in your vocabulary. So it's what can you do to improve your performance on this? Read more in English. Listen to more in English. That's all you can do to increase your vocabulary, even if it's your passive vocabulary rather than your active vocabulary. Anyway, that's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.